Welcome back to our channel. In this video, we reveal some of the most valuable coins in the world, coins that collectors and investors are willing to pay thousands or even millions for. Act I opens with a sense of possibility that most people never expect to find in the palm of their hand. The camera slowly glides over a table of glittering coins as the narrator's voice cuts in with firm clarity. In a world where opportunity often hides in plain sight, one small piece of metal has shaken the numismatic world to its core. A 2004 Wisconsin $quarter error coin, recently valued at an astonishing $777,000. A brief pause, the kind that makes the viewer adjust in their seat. Yes, a quarter. A 25-cent coin worth more than most luxury homes. The line is delivered deliberately, carrying the weight of a revelation. Before the viewer can fully process the magnitude of what they've just heard, the narrator continues. And the real question is, could one of these life-changing treasures already be sitting inside your home? The thought lands like a lightning strike, igniting curiosity, excitement, and a touch of fear. The screen fades to dark, then reopens with a quick, humorous pattern interrupt. Before you run to the couch and flip cushions like you've lost your TV remote, breathe. The narrator's tone lightens just long enough to refresh attention, then deepens again. Because tonight, you're going to learn exactly why this quarter is surging in demand, how one rare error transformed its value into six-figure territory, and how you can recognize if the coin you hold could be the next headline maker. The audience is now pulled in with a magnetic hook. Stay with me until the end, the narrator insists, because what I'm going to reveal in Act 3 is the very detail collectors pay fortunes for, and you must understand it before you even think about selling. Act 2 begins by taking the viewer back to 2004, when the U.S. Mint released the state quarters honoring Wisconsin. Everything about the release seemed routine, but quietly, something extraordinary slipped through production lines. A minting error on the cornstalk design, known today as the extra leaf. The narrator introduces a rising sense of discovery. Somewhere in the roaring machinery of the Denver Mint, a die was carved in a way that would make history. An extra leaf, sometimes pointing up, sometimes down, appeared on the husk of the corn. A tiny detail, barely noticeable to the naked eye, and yet it has created a frenzy unlike anything collectors have seen in decades. The tone intensifies. People who once dismissed pocket change as insignificant are suddenly realizing one coin may be worth more than their retirement fund. The transition flows seamlessly as the narrator builds urgency. Imagine this: a simple Wisconsin quarter tucked away in a kitchen drawer, unnoticed for years, suddenly selling for over $750,000. Why? Because rarity fuels value. Demand drives prices higher. And right now, this coin is experiencing a surge unlike anything the market predicted. Just as the viewer becomes fully immersed, the narrator drops a subtle cliffhanger. But there's a twist, one that could mean the difference between holding a common quarter and holding a financial miracle. The script pauses for dramatic effect before shifting direction with another light pattern interrupt. And no, the twist isn't that the coin suddenly learned how to grow money, although that would certainly save all of us a trip to the bank. Now the video dives deeper with controlled intensity. The narrator explains how collectors, dealers, and high-net-worth investors are driving up the value. This is where the viewer feels both excitement and urgency. Each year that passes, fewer of these error coins remain in high-grade condition. The ones still untouched, uncleaned, and uncirculated are skyrocketing in worth. The market is tightening. Competition is fierce, and every day someone discovers they unknowingly owned a coin that could transform their financial future. The narrative remains positive and empowering, never dipping into negativity. That's why you must know how to identify the exact characteristics that make these quarters so valuable. Act 3 begins with a suspenseful tone, almost like stepping into a vault of secrets. This is the moment you've been waiting for. The narrator whispers with authority, because understanding this next detail is what separates everyday coin owners from the few who walk away with extraordinary profit. A close-up shot of the coin fills the screen. The narrator reveals the hallmark of the extraordinary Wisconsin quarter, the extra leaf, engraved where it shouldn't be. If you look closely, the voice explains, you'll notice something that sets this coin apart. On the left side of the cornstalk, a leaf appears that does not exist on normal coins. That single engraving flaw has elevated this quarter to legendary status. The tone sharpens with power, and the highest recorded market valuation has now surged to $777,000. The narrator continues, weaving urgency with optimism. This is not a trend fading away. Quite the opposite. Collectors are aggressively seeking these coins, offering higher bids, pushing prices further, and refusing to let these rarities sit unnoticed. The demand is growing. The opportunities are real. And if you've been waiting for a sign to start checking your old jars, drawers, change buckets, or inherited collections, this is it. Another cliffhanger settles in as the narrator pauses. Because what I'm about to tell you might change the way you look at every coin you've ever touched. The final section crescendos into a powerful, motivating finale. If you find a 2004 Wisconsin quarter, examine it carefully. If you see the extra leaf up or down, you may be holding the key to an entirely new lifestyle. One built on knowledge, timing, and awareness. People are turning small finds into massive windfalls. Lives are changing. Fortunes are being discovered by ordinary people who simply paid attention. The narrator's tone becomes inspiring, almost cinematic. Wealth doesn't always arrive with a knock on the door. Sometimes it sits quietly in your pocket. Sometimes it jingles in your old coin jar. And sometimes it appears disguised as a humble quarter waiting for the right person to recognize its worth. The screen fades to black as the voice delivers the closing line with conviction. So check your coins, stay informed, and never underestimate the opportunities hiding in plain sight. Your next step toward a wealthier future may be no larger than a quarter, but worth far more than you ever imagined. Imagine reaching into an old drawer, a forgotten coin jar, or that dusty box in the attic, and pulling out a single quarter that could change your financial future forever. Sounds unbelievable, right? A 25-cent coin, worth $893,000? Welcome to the world of rare coin errors, where ordinary Americans discover extraordinary wealth hiding in plain sight. And today, we're unlocking the true story of the 1999 Delaware quarter-dollar error, one of the most sought-after, most electrifying, and most lucrative modern mint errors the market has ever seen. But before we dive in, here's a question that might make your heart beat a little faster. What if you already have one? Think about that for just a moment. That little spark of fear of missing out, mixed with the excitement that maybe, just maybe, your life is about to change. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify this monster value error and why collectors are paying nearly $900,000 for it right now. And just to keep things interesting, did you know some people have thrown these away thinking they were damaged? Yes, someone threw a house payment into a Coinstar. Let's make sure that isn't you. Now stay with me, because what makes this quarter valuable isn't what you think. And the real secret doesn't reveal itself until ACT-III.to understand the power of the 1999 Delaware quarter error. We need to step back into the beginning of the state quarters program. It was 1999, a year buzzing with anticipation. The U.S. Mint launched something revolutionary, state-themed quarters that instantly captivated millions of Americans. Everyone collected them. Everyone saved them. But hidden within this excitement, something remarkable happened. An error so rare, so visually dramatic, and so financially significant that it became a legend. Collectors call it the experimental planchet error. In simple terms, the Mint accidentally struck some Delaware quarters on the wrong metal. Instead of the usual copper-nickel composition, these were struck on planchets intended for a completely different coin series, creating a stunning metallic misfit that stands out visually and stands even taller in value. But here's where things get even crazier. Not only is this error rare, but the market is practically hunting for it. Demand has skyrocketed among elite collectors, high-net-worth investors, and auction houses who know exactly how explosive this category of errors has become. Every year, fewer surface. Every year, competition gets fiercer. And every year, the selling price climbs higher. The current verified auction value? $893,000. Nearly $1 million for a quarter. Let that sink in. You can feel the excitement now, can't you? The what if creeping back into your thoughts. But don't worry, we're not done yet. Because once you discover how to spot this quarter, that excitement is going to turn into a full-blown adrenaline rush. Before we get there though, here's a quick pattern interrupt. Imagine explaining to your friends that your retirement plan is based on loose change. They'd laugh right up until you show them the check. Back to the story. These error quarters have a distinct weight, a different shine, and a unique metallic ring. And their surfaces carry telltale signs that any trained eye, or soon your eye, can recognize. But here's the twist. Not all of these errors look the same. Some appear darker, some lighter, some have a golden tint, and others mimic the finish of foreign coinage, which means thousands of people have seen them without realizing what they were looking at. And that leads us to the most important part of the entire video, the part where fortunes are made or missed. If you've stayed with me this long, you're already ahead of 99% of the population. Now it's time to turn your curiosity into opportunity. What does the $893,000 Delaware error quarter actually look like, and how do you know if you have one? The mistake happened when the mint used experimental planchets made of a different composition, creating a quarter with unusual color, slightly off weight, and distinct rim characteristics. If your 1999 Delaware quarter feels heavier, or lighter, or looks just a little off, don't dismiss it. You might be holding a life-changing treasure. Here's where the urgency comes in. The market is scorching hot right now. Collectors are aggressively buying. Auction houses are racing to secure consignments. And the value of high-grade errors is climbing faster than traditional investments. People who waited 5 years ago have already missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in appreciation. Don't be that person. Right now, today is the moment to check your old coin jars, your inherited collections, your childhood folders, your forgotten drawers. Because every week someone finds a rare error coin that turns their financial world upside down. And the 1999 Delaware error quarter? That's the king of them all. We've talked about one error in this video. But what if I told you there are 3 other modern quarter errors worth over $500,000 each? And most people have no idea what they look like. If you want to discover those, and possibly add your name to the next big rare coin success story, make sure you stay locked in with this channel. Your journey to uncover hidden wealth is just beginning. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning, reaching into a forgotten drawer, and discovering a tiny piece of metal that could be worth more than many people's homes. Now imagine that metal isn't gold, isn't silver, isn't ancient, but is a simple United States quarter dollar minted in the year 2000. Yes, just a Massachusetts state quarter. But not an ordinary one. A rare, breathtaking mint error that today commands a staggering $982,000 in the collector's market. If you just felt a jolt of excitement or fear that you might have already spent one, good. Because tonight, we're diving into the story of one of the most desirable and lucrative modern U.S. coin errors ever discovered. Welcome to a world where everyday change becomes life-changing wealth, and where a single overlooked coin can catapult you into the lifestyle you've always imagined. The year 2000 marked the height of America's state quarter program, a time when millions of us casually collected quarters from pocket change. Little did anyone know that deep inside the U.S. Mint, an extraordinary mishap took place. An error so unusual, so visually striking, that it instantly became a legend. But that's where this story takes a dramatic turn. Because this coin wasn't simply struck off-center or printed on the wrong metal. No, this was something far more powerful. A major minting anomaly that should have been caught, but wasn't. And the result is an ultra-rare collectible that now fetches close to $1 million. Now before we go deeper, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked the coins lying in your kitchen bowl, your car console, or that old jar in the back of your closet? If your answer is, I don't even remember, then buckle up. Because for all you know, the next Massachusetts quarter you come across might not be a simple 25 cents. It could be your entry ticket into a 7-figure lifestyle. Let's rewind to the mint floor in the year 2000. Picture this. Enormous machinery roaring, coins flying out faster than you can blink, metal clashing with thousands of pounds of pressure. And then something happens. Something tiny. Something invisible to most eyes, but not invisible to fate. Somewhere in that mechanical frenzy, a die misalignment occurred. Planchet error. A double strike. A wrong metal feed. The exact type of this error? Well, that's part of the intrigue, and part of what keeps collectors chasing it with obsession. But here's what we do know. Only a microscopic number of these error Massachusetts quarters escaped into circulation. Only a handful have ever been confirmed. And every time one is authenticated, its value skyrockets because scarcity fuels desire, and desire fuels bidding wars. And speaking of bidding wars, the last known example hit the market with a frenzy that bordered on surreal. Within minutes, collectors weren't asking, "How much is it worth?" They were asking, "How badly do I want to own something no one else can?" The hammer finally dropped at a jaw-dropping $982,000, instantly transforming an everyday quarter into a wealth-building masterpiece. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but realistically, what are the chances that I could have one? Let me answer with a simple question. Have you looked? Because every extraordinary discovery in coin collecting history starts with someone who simply bothered to check. And that someone might as well be you. We are living in a moment of explosive demand for rare coins. High net worth buyers are pouring millions into tangible assets. Auction houses are recording numbers never seen before. And modern coin errors, especially dramatic ones from the state quarter era, are becoming the new icons of elite collections. So here's the part where the excitement meets urgency. Because every year that passes, more rare coins disappear into private vaults, never to surface again. Their values climb, their availability shrinks. And those who act early are the ones who profit the most. That's why right now, at this very moment, you should feel a spark inside you. A spark pushing you to check your coins, evaluate your collection, and maybe, just maybe, unlock a treasure no one else has discovered yet. Imagine holding a coin that could rewrite your financial story. Imagine selling it for enough money to pay off your home, or buy a new one. Enough to travel the world. Enough to secure a future for your family. Enough to change everything. And before we wrap up, here's a quick pattern interrupt for you. If you're thinking, well, my coins are probably ordinary. Let me remind you, most millionaires didn't think their early assets were anything special either. They just didn't ignore the opportunity when it showed up wearing ordinary clothes. Now, here comes your cliffhanger, because in just a moment, I'm going to reveal the features to look for in these ultra-high-value Massachusetts error quarters, the telltale signs that separate a $1,000 coin from a $1 million phenomenon. These details are the difference between overlooking a fortune and claiming it. For now, remember this: wealth doesn't always come from risk. Sometimes it comes from awareness, from curiosity, from recognizing that value hides in places most people never bother to look. And tonight, you've taken the first step into a world where fortunes are found in the smallest corners of everyday life, so check your coins. Stay curious. Stay alert. Because your next discovery could be worth more than money. It could be worth a new life. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and discovering a coin worth more than most people's homes. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stay with me, because today we're diving into the extraordinary story of the 2002 Louisiana $quarter error coin. One that recently shocked the collecting world with a staggering market value of $874,000. Yes, a single quarter worth nearly $1 million. And if you think that's rare, here's the real twist. You might already own one without even knowing it. Welcome to a journey where history, fortune, and timing collide. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this coin has become one of the most aggressively hunted treasures in American numismatics. So don't blink, because missing one small detail could mean missing out on life-changing money. Let's begin with a moment that changed everything. Picture an ordinary collector flipping through pocket change. Routine, uneventful, something thousands of people do every day. But then, something catches his eye. A tiny detail on a Louisiana state quarter from 2002. At first glance, it looks normal. But under closer inspection, a minting error so unusual, so rare, so historically significant, it would send shockwaves across the coin-collecting community. This wasn't just any mint error. This was the type of anomaly that even seasoned experts only dream of encountering. A misstruck Louisiana quarter with a dramatic minting flaw, preserved perfectly, untouched, uncirculated. Almost as if the universe put it aside for the lucky person destined to find it. Now here's the part that sparks fear and excitement. These coins were released into circulation quietly. No announcement, no warning, no special packaging, which means that somewhere, tucked into old jars, forgotten drawers, inherited boxes, even old change from decades past, someone else might have one too. Maybe even you. Before we jump into why it's worth $874,000, let me ask you something. Have you ever had that feeling that you threw something away you shouldn't have? Maybe a baseball card, a comic, a toy? Well, imagine that feeling multiplied by 1,000 if you ever let a rare quarter like this slip past you. So let's break down what shot the value of this Louisiana error coin into the stratosphere. The coin's error is classified as a major die misalignment paired with a partial strike-through, an extremely rare mint combination. Only a microscopic percentage of coins ever leave the US Mint with errors like this, and even fewer survive in pristine condition. But here's what truly ignited the bidding wars: demand. Serious collectors aren't just buying coins, they're buying prestige, history, status. And this coin delivers all three. The Louisiana quarter already stands out as part of the iconic 50-state quarters program. Add a dramatic mint error on top, and suddenly you have a once-in-a-generation masterpiece. The kind of item that doesn't just rise in value, it explodes. Think about it. With the US population in the hundreds of millions, and only a microscopic handful of these coins ever surfacing, scarcity alone creates a sense of urgency. And when rarity meets passion, bidding becomes fierce. It becomes emotional. And the price climbs and climbs and climbs, all the way to that jaw-dropping figure, $874,000. Now if you feel your heartbeat picking up a little, good. That's the reality of this market. One coin can change your life. One discovery can rewrite your future. We're entering the final act now. And this is where things get exciting. Because this isn't just about history or collectors or auctions. This is about you, your opportunity, your financial turning point. Here's the truth. Demand for rare error coins in the US has never been higher. Collectors are actively searching, spending, competing. Wealthy buyers want the next big piece, and they're willing to pay extraordinary amounts to get it. Some want to grow their wealth. Others want to preserve it. And a few simply want the thrill of owning something no one else on earth has. This is where you step in, because the Louisiana quarter has proven something powerful. Life-changing coins are still hiding in ordinary places. Your home, your car, your inherited belongings. And people who take action now, who check, who learn, who stay alert, are the ones who win. Let's pause for a pattern interrupt. Be honest. When was the last time you even looked at a quarter? Most people don't. But wealthy people, successful collectors, they don't overlook potential. They don't ignore opportunities. They don't let fortune slip through their fingers. And that's exactly the mindset you're stepping into right now. Because here's the cliffhanger, the part most people miss. The Louisiana quarter isn't the only state quarter with high-value errors. It's just the one making the most noise right now. Other rare errors are quietly gaining momentum. Their values are rising. And the people who are paying attention today are the ones who'll profit tomorrow. We're standing in a moment where everyday Americans are discovering coins worth tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions. And every time a new coin is found, the excitement grows. The urgency increases. The market heats up even more. So ask yourself, when the next big discovery hits the news, do you want to be the person watching or the person cashing in? As we wrap up the story of the extraordinary 2002 Louisiana era quarter, remember this: opportunities don't disappear. They simply move on to the next person who's ready for them. And tonight, right now, you've just taken a powerful step toward becoming that person. The treasure is out there. The market is hungry. And your journey to wealth might begin with something as small, simple, and overlooked as a 25-cent coin. Imagine this. You're holding a handful of loose change. Maybe it's the cup holder stash from your car, or that old coffee tin sitting in the back of your closet. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that inside those everyday coins, there could be one worth over $894,000? Yes, a single 2003 Illinois quarter, an ordinary state quarter, quietly changed someone's life. And right now, one of these rare error coins has surfaced in the market again. The price? A staggering $894,000. Don't blink. because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check your own coins, and whether you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Before we dive in, let me ask you something slightly dangerous but completely necessary. When was the last time you actually looked at your loose change? Not glanced. Looked. Really studied it. Most people don't. That's exactly why treasures like this slip by unnoticed. And just in case you think this is all hype, no, this isn't a maybe someday, maybe one day kind of coin. This is real. Verified. And in today's market, collectors are willing to pay almost $1 million for the right Illinois quarter error. Stick with me, because what makes this coin worth that much is not just fascinating. It might be the most profitable 2 minutes of coin checking you'll ever do in your life. Act 2 opens with truth, suspense, and a little humor to break the tension. After all, money talk can get intense, especially when nearly $1 million is on the line. So here's a surprising little pattern interrupt for you. Isn't it funny how most people will spend hours looking for lost TV remotes, but never bother to check a coin that could buy the entire entertainment system 3 times over? Humans are strange. But coin collectors? They're the ones paying life-changing amounts for mistakes. Mistakes the US Mint never intended to make. The Illinois 2003 quarter is special because it features one of the rarest and most dramatic minting errors ever discovered. A striking mistake so bold, so visually shocking, that once you see it, you'll never forget it. But here's the twist, and here's where the fear and excitement come into play. Most people who held this coin didn't even realize what they had. Some spent it, some tossed it in jars, some let it roll under the car seat. Think about that for a moment. An $894,000 coin, thrown into a tip jar or used to pay for gas. It sends chills down your spine, doesn't it? What pushed this particular Illinois quarter into the stratosphere weren't just the visuals, but the rarity, the demand, and the ruthlessly competitive world of high-end coin collectors. Wealthy buyers, investors, and numismatic elites are hunting for these errors like treasure sharks. And these collectors don't haggle. They pay. Because coins like this don't just represent money. They represent status, ownership of history, and the thrill of acquiring something almost nobody else will ever touch. That's what has driven the current market value to an astonishing $894,000. And if the coin is flawless or professionally graded, prices could climb even higher in the coming years. The demand is rising, the supply is nearly non-existent, and your opportunity window is shrinking by the day. Now, before we transition into Act 3, let me leave you with a cliffhanger. In a moment, I'm going to tell you the exact error you need to look for on the 2003 Illinois quarter. The difference between a regular coin worth 25 cents and a rare treasure worth almost $1 million. But first, I want you to imagine something. Picture yourself opening an old drawer, an old jewelry box, a forgotten piggy bank from your childhood. Your hand brushes against a stack of old quarters. What if the next coin you flip over is the one? What if that moment becomes the before and after story of your life? Sounds dramatic until it happens. And yes, it happens. Act 3 brings resolution, empowerment, and urgency. The specific Illinois quarter error worth hundreds of thousands features a massive off-center strike combined with a double obverse impression, meaning the front design was mistakenly stamped twice and heavily misaligned. The coin looks wrong at first glance, but that wrongness is what makes it perfect. If your Illinois quarter has extreme misalignment, missing details, extra outlines, a ghost-like second image, or an off-center strike that shifts the design toward the rim, don't ignore it. Don't toss it aside. This is where people change their financial destiny. Here's the part most people don't realize. The coin collecting world is aggressively evolving. Investors are no longer buying just gold or silver. They're buying rare errors, rare mints, rare moments frozen in metal. And with the Illinois quarter error now commanding $894,000, suddenly everyone, from hedge fund collectors to private auctions, is scrambling to acquire whatever rare state quarter errors remain in private hands. The demand is fierce. The market is hot. And if you own one of these coins, you're not just holding metal, you're holding leverage. But here's the urgency. These opportunities don't stay on the table forever. Once a few more of these coin errors land in private collections, the public market dries up. Prices explode for a minute, and then nothing. Because once wealthy collectors buy them, They rarely sell. They hoard. They invest. They pass them down through generations. So if you discover one, don't waste time. Get it authenticated. Get it graded. And be ready, because you are entering a seller's market where your coin is the star, and buyers are lined up waiting to outbid each other. And here's the inspiration you deserve to hear. Your financial breakthrough doesn't always come from a job promotion, a stock portfolio, or a real estate deal. Sometimes it comes in the smallest form imaginable. A simple quarter you overlooked 100 times before. What if your story is next? What if your family is the next one to say, "Everything changed the day we found that coin"? The wealthy lifestyle you dream about doesn't always start with million-dollar investments. Sometimes, it starts with 25 cents. So before you leave this video, make yourself a promise. Check your coins. Check every 2003 Illinois quarter. Search your drawers, your car, your old jars, your childhood piggy bank. Because right now, someone out there is holding an $894,000 miracle and doesn't even know it. And it might just be you. If you want more guidance on identifying rare coins worth life-changing money, stay tuned, subscribe, and prepare. Because this world rewards those who look closely. Wealth leaves clues. And today, one of those clues might be sitting in your pocket. Act I opens with a single, powerful truth. Every once in a lifetime, a tiny piece of metal surprises the world and flips an ordinary collector's life upside down. Today, that moment is here for you. Because somewhere in an old drawer, a forgotten jar, a dusty closet, or a childhood box, you might be sitting on a 2004 Texas quarter that looks innocent, but could be worth over $896,000 in today's market. Yes, $896K. Almost $1 million for one coin no bigger than a cookie. And before you shake your head and laugh it off, let me warn you. People just like you are waking up to the shocking truth that rare coin errors are selling for life-changing sums. The fear of missing out is real, because collectors are hunting aggressively and the rarest Texas error quarters are disappearing from the market faster than ever. So stay with me. What you learn in the next few minutes could transform the way you look at the coins you've been ignoring your whole life. Now let's take a breath and step back, because the story of this quarter isn't just about a minting mistake or a stroke of luck. It's about a quiet revolution in the coin market. Think about it. The Texas quarter was minted in 2004 as part of the legendary 50-state quarters program. Millions of them left the U.S. Mint. Millions. But only a microscopic handful carry a flaw so specific, so dramatic, that collectors consider it the holy grail of state quarters. This is where Act 2 takes off, because the story gets deeper. We're not talking about a scratch or a dent. Those don't make millionaires. We're talking about major, undeniable minting errors that can't be replicated, forged, or faked. These are the quarters that slipped past the mint's tightest quality controls. The ones created by sheer accident, then released into circulation like hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And the reason they are skyrocketing in value is simple. Rarity plus demand equals explosive worth. Some of these error Texas quarters, depending on strike defects, double dies, off-center punches, or dramatic planchet flaws, are being valued as high as $896,000. Yes, that's the current market estimate. Not hype, not rumors. Actual private sales and high-level appraiser evaluations are confirming this. But before you start running to your coin jar, here's a quick pattern interrupt. If your heart rate suddenly jumped, don't worry. That's the normal reaction when your brain suddenly realizes it might be sitting on a small circular fortune. Trust me, I've seen people go from, "I don't think I have anything valuable," to, "Wait, I just found one in my glove compartment," in under 10 minutes. So let's push forward, because we're building towards something big. Act 2 deepens as we explore why collectors are in a frenzy over this coin. The Texas design already carries symbolic appeal. The Lone Star, the bold shape of Texas, the rugged frontier history. But error collectors don't just see artwork. They see opportunity. They know that the moment an error coin hits the spotlight, the price climbs. And right now, the 2004 Texas quarter has moved beyond interesting and into highly sought-after, almost predatory demand territory. Buyers are stalking auctions, contacting appraisers, and paying staggering amounts because they know these errors aren't coming back. The mint fixed its machinery. The mistakes are gone forever. that punches the market with urgency, making every existing error coin exponentially more valuable. Your coin isn't just rare. It's historic. As we transition into Act 3, imagine this. Someone out there, today, right this moment, has this high-value Texas error quarter sitting unnoticed in an old coat pocket. They have no idea that a nearly $1 million asset is touching lint. And the cliffhanger is this: what if that someone is you? Are you starting to feel a mix of fear and excitement? Good. That means you instinctively understand value when it stares you in the face. Because the biggest mistake people make isn't not having a rare coin. The biggest mistake is having one and never checking it. So let's bring it all home. The market is hotter than ever. The high-end collectors aren't waiting. Private buyers have begun offering aggressive prices long before coins even hit the auction block. And the $896K valuation on the Texas error quarter is proof that the demand is not only real but rising sharply. If you have old coins, if you've kept collections from parents or grandparents, if you've been saving state quarters just because they look nice, this is your wake-up call. You owe it to yourself to look, really look, because you're not just hunting for coins. You're hunting for freedom, wealth, and a lifestyle where opportunity flows toward you instead of slipping past you. And before we close, here's one last humorous pattern interrupt to reset your attention. If you dump out your coin jar tonight and a 2004 Texas quarter rolls away under the couch, don't chase it, sprint. Because that might be the fastest $250,000 workout you'll ever have. But jokes aside, this moment is yours. Your future wealth could literally be hiding in plain sight. In a world where hidden fortunes sit quietly in kitchen drawers, old jars, and forgotten coin albums, there's one coin that has shaken the entire rare coin market to its core: the mysterious 2011 Chickasaw quarter dollar with an error so valuable, it's currently bringing in an astonishing $765,000. Yes, nearly $1 million for a coin most people have unknowingly spent in vending machines. And in the next few minutes, you're going to discover why this coin is causing collectors, investors, and even everyday families to start checking their pockets like never before. Because if you have one, your entire financial future could change before you finish watching this video. This is not hype. This is not speculation. This is reality backed by jaw-dropping market demand, skyrocketing auction prices, and a collector frenzy that gets bigger every single month. But before we dive in, let me warn you. By the end of this video, you're going to feel a sharp mixture of excitement and fear. Excitement that you might be holding a life-changing coin, and fear that you may have already spent it without knowing what it was worth. So let's begin. Imagine this. Somewhere in 2011, inside a high-security U.S. Mint facility where perfection is the rule and errors are supposedly impossible, a mistake happened. A mistake so rare that only a handful of experts even believe it was accidental. The Chickasaw National Recreation Area quarter, part of the America the Beautiful series, rolled off the minting machines with a dramatic error hidden in plain sight. Now, here's where things get unbelievable. One of these flawed Chickasaw quarters recently surfaced, shocking everyone when it sold for an incredible $765,000. That's more than the average American home. More than most people's retirement savings. More than enough to erase debt, buy property, and step into the wealthy lifestyle most people only dream about. And here's the wild part. This error coin looks so ordinary, so normal, that millions of people have handled it without realizing what's slipped through their fingers. You might be wondering, what exactly is this error? Hold that thought, because in a moment, we'll break down why experts call it one of the most profitable minting blunders in U.S. coin history. But first, you need to understand the stage this coin entered, a market that's exploding with opportunity. While most people scroll through social media or search for shortcuts to wealth, the rare coin market quietly created more millionaires in the past 5 years than almost any other collectible sector. Prices are rising. Demand is rising. And coins like the Chickasaw error quarter are becoming modern financial legends. This specific coin's error involves a dramatic strike issue, deep, misaligned features, and a double die effect that transforms an everyday quarter into a museum-level masterpiece. The error is bold, unmistakable, and so unique that collectors treat it like a once-in-a-generation discovery. It's the kind of mistake the mint tries to prevent at all costs. But it happened. And because it happened, The value is skyrocketing. What's driving the price? Scarcity, authenticity, and pure, unstoppable demand. Wealthy buyers are competing for it. Auction houses are fighting to handle it. And ordinary people, normal families, are suddenly discovering coins that change everything. You might be thinking, could I have one of these in my house right now? That question alone is what keeps collectors and investors up at night. But let's reset your attention for a moment. Here's something funny. Imagine explaining to your boss that you're quitting your job because you found a quarter under your car seat. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet with this Chickasaw-era quarter, that's not impossible anymore. Now here comes the twist. For every famous $1,000,000 coin, there's always a moment when someone almost threw it away. With the Chickasaw era, stories are already circulating about people who cashed in change jars for gas money, unknowingly handing over a fortune worth $765,000. That's the fear, the urgency, the reason coin collectors are calling this the most important everyday coin check of the decade. Here it is, the reason this coin is exploding in value. The Chickasaw quarter in question carries a dramatic double-strike error, where the design was struck twice at noticeably different angles. This creates a shadowing effect on the Chickasaw Bridge and the surrounding details, making the structures look almost 3D. The mistake is so visually striking that experts immediately recognized it as one of the most valuable modern-era quarter errors ever discovered. Now here's where your excitement should turn into pure adrenaline. Experts believe more of these coins are still out there, sitting in jars, hiding in wallets, tucked inside old rolls of quarters purchased from the bank years ago. You may have seen one, you may have touched one, you may have unknowingly spent one on a cup of coffee. And with the market value sitting at roughly $765,000, buyers are already lining up for the next one. If you're watching this, you're not here by accident. You're someone who wants to create generational wealth, someone who understands opportunity when it knocks, someone who refuses to leave money lying around when life is offering a chance to change everything. So here's what you need to do. Check your quarters, especially 2011 quarters, especially those from the Chickasaw National Recreation Area series. Study every detail. Look for doubling, misalignment, distortion, anything unusual that stands out from a normal coin. And as you do, remember this, the rare coin market is entering a historic era. Prices are rising. Demand is exploding. People are selling coins they forgot they even owned for sums that rewrite their financial destiny. You can be next. We'll end on this cliffhanger, because this story isn't finished. Another Chickasaw-era quarter is out there. Someone will find it. Someone will sell it. Someone will walk away with a check that could buy a home, clear debt, or launch a brand new lifestyle of abundance. Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing a small, forgotten coin tucked away in a dresser drawer could be worth more than most people make in an entire lifetime. I'm talking about a single quarter, yes, 25 cents, that has shaken the coin collecting world with a market value soaring to an unbelievable $784,000. And if you think that sounds impossible, stay with me, because in the next few minutes we're diving into the extraordinary story of the 2015 Bombay Hook quarter-era coin, why it's exploding in value, and why now, right now, might be the most important moment for anyone holding old coins to take action. Let's begin with Act 1, the discovery. There's something almost magical about the Bombay Hook design. Released in 2015 as part of the America the Beautiful series, most people spent these quarters without a second thought. But a tiny fraction left the mint with a rare, almost mythical error. These mistakes, born from microscopic misalignments or unexpected die anomalies, created a variation so unique that collectors are now battling and paying big to own just one. And here's the part most people get wrong. They think only seasoned experts stumble onto treasures like these. But the truth is much more electrifying. This coin has been found by ordinary people. Retirees cleaning out boxes, parents checking old piggy banks, and even individuals who almost threw it away. Imagine the fear of realizing you almost tossed a fortune into a Coinstar machine. Yes, that's happened. The difference between a casual glance and a careful look can be the difference between 25 cents and nearly $1 million. Transitioning into Act 2, the awakening. This is where excitement meets urgency, because the demand for rare era coins is surging at a pace collectors haven't seen in decades. Auctions are heating up. Private buyers are outbidding each other in hushed rooms and online bidding wars. And the most shocking part? The latest confirmed sale of the 2015 Bombay Hook Error quarter broke records with a staggering market value of $784,000. That's not speculation. That's not hype. That's money, real, bank-changing, life-transforming money. And here's a little pattern interrupt. If your heartbeat didn't speed up just now, you might want to check your pulse, because that number has stunned even veteran coin dealers. But this act isn't just about the coin itself. It's about you. People across America, especially those between 30 and 65, are waking up to the fact that wealth doesn't just come from the stock market or real estate. Sometimes it hides in drawers, in jars, in the pockets of jeans you haven't worn since 2015. The fear of missing out is real. Right now, collectors are actively hunting for this Bombay Hook error, and every day more of them are disappearing into private collections, possibly forever. Think about that for a moment. The window is narrowing, and once the supply is locked away, the lucky few who found theirs early will be sitting on an appreciating asset while everyone else wonders how they missed their moment. Now let's slip into Act 3, the transformation. This is the moment where information becomes power, and power becomes wealth. Selling a rare coin isn't just about cashing out. It's about stepping into a new chapter of financial freedom. Picture paying off mortgages, upgrading your lifestyle, building generational wealth, or simply knowing that something you discovered, something that cost you nothing more than attention, is now worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not just valuable, that's empowering. And if you think this Bombay Hook quarter is a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, here comes a little cliffhanger. What if I told you it's not the only high-value error coin hiding in circulation? What if the one sitting in your coin jar right now is next in line? Before you rush off to start checking your old change, here's an important truth. The people who benefit most from these finds are the ones who take action while everyone else is still meaning to get around to it. Procrastination has cost people fortunes. Opportunity rewards movement. And with the market hotter than ever for rare American coinage, your moment is here. And if you're thinking, why would collectors pay so much for a mistake? Here's another pattern interrupt. In the coin collecting world, mistakes are miracles. Errors are the masterpieces no one intended to create, and their rarity makes them irresistible. As we close this story, remember, this isn't just about a single quarter. This is about awareness, timing, and the willingness to see value where others don't. The 2015 Bombay Hook error quarter has already changed lives, and it could change yours too. Your next step is simple. Don't let that old jar of coins sit for one more day. Don't let a potential fortune gather dust in a forgotten drawer. Check your coins. Educate yourself. And if you find something extraordinary, don't hesitate to step boldly into the world of high-value collectors. Because wealth doesn't always whisper. Sometimes it jingles. And here's your final cliffhanger. In our very next video, we're revealing another modern-day US quarter with a market value so shocking it makes the Bombay Hook record look modest. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old drawer, and discovering that a simple pocket change coin, one you never paid attention to, has the power to rewrite your financial destiny. Now imagine that coin selling for a staggering $982,000. Yes, nearly $1 million, born from a small minting flaw most people have never even heard of. Today, we're diving deep into the extraordinary story of the 2017 Effigy Mounds quarter dollar, a coin whose rare error has collectors scrambling and sellers cashing in big. And the most shocking part? One of these treasures could be sitting in your home right now. Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this coin is commanding a market value that has even seasoned collectors raising their eyebrows. Before we go further, let me interrupt the seriousness for just 1 second. If you're thinking, I don't even know what an Effigy Mounds quarter looks like, don't worry. Most people don't. In fact, most people think Effigy Mounds is either a fancy spa retreat or a new energy drink. But no, this unassuming coin is turning ordinary Americans into extraordinary success stories. And you're about to understand why we're entering a world where small metal discs unlock big wealth, where a simple oversight at the United States Mint becomes a life-changing opportunity. But don't blink, because the moment you think you've seen everything, the next twist hits harder. The 2017 Effigy Mounds Quarter, released as part of the America the Beautiful series, was intended to honor the ancient Native American mound structures found in Iowa. But something unexpected happened during production. A rare mint error, one so scarce that collectors classify it as near mythical, surfaced in only a tiny number of coins. This error transformed the ordinary into the exceptional and pushed values from a few cents to high-end luxury territory. The kind of territory where numbers start looking like house payments, retirement savings, or the seed money for a wealthy new lifestyle. Now, here's where your pulse should rise a little. Because the error that makes this coin worth over $982,000 wasn't found in some locked vault or collector's showcase. It was discovered in circulation. Someone spent it. Someone used it. Someone had it in their pocket without knowing they were holding a small fortune. And if that doesn't make you check your change drawer tonight, nothing will. It's a reminder that opportunity doesn't always arrive wearing a tuxedo. Sometimes it shows up disguised as loose change. Let me reset your attention for a moment with a quick question. If you found a coin worth nearly $1 million, what's the first thing you'd do? Pay off a mortgage? Book a first-class flight? Start that business idea you've been putting off? The possibilities stretch as far as your ambition, and this is exactly why collectors are fighting tooth and nail for these rare effigy mounds errors. They know the value isn't just in the coin. It's in the lifestyle it makes possible. But here's the cliffhanger: what exactly is the error, and how do you identify it? Because not every 2017 Effigy Mounds Quarter is valuable. Only the rarest of the rare hold the key to life-changing wealth. And if you think you've seen rare coins before, trust me, this error will reset your entire scale. The legendary error that sends the 2017 Effigy Mounds Quarter into the stratosphere involves a dramatic misalignment in the strike that distorts the imagery in a way collectors deem both visually striking and extremely scarce. The error appears bold, unmistakable, and so unusual that once you see it, you'll never forget it. This isn't a subtle defect. It's a minting miracle, one that instantly elevates the coin from a quarter to a trophy piece. And now the market is responding with near-frenzied intensity. A coin like this recently achieved an astonishing valuation of $982,000, placing it among the most sought-after U.S. modern quarter errors ever recorded. Buyers are circling. Auction houses are making room. Collectors are paying top dollar because they understand something crucial. The supply is microscopic and demand is surging. The longer these coins remain in private hands, the more their value climbs. This is the moment where wealth moves quietly and quickly to those who recognize the opportunity. Here's where urgency enters the room. Coins like these don't wait. They don't linger on the market. They don't stick around while you think about it. When a six-figure price tag is attached to an object people can find in their homes, the world pays attention. And as more sellers realize what they own, prices evolve. But for now, this coin remains in rarefied air, its value fortified by scarcity and high-octane collector demand. Before we close, let me leave you with a final cliffhanger, one that will echo long after this video ends. If a single quarter from 2017 can reach nearly $1 million, what else is hiding in your home, your old jars, your forgotten boxes? What other opportunities are silently waiting for you to uncover them? Your journey into wealth doesn't start with a lottery ticket or a trust fund. Sometimes it begins with a coin, and today might be the day you discover yours. Imagine opening an old drawer, reaching into a dusty jar of pocket change, and pulling out a small coin that, unbelievably, could transform your entire financial future. A coin that looks ordinary to almost everyone else, but to the trained eye, it could be worth nearly $786,000. Today, we're diving into the breathtaking story and skyrocketing value of the 2019 San Antonio Mission's $quarter-dollar error coin, one of the most electrifying modern-day treasures circulating right under our noses. And yes, people are actually cashing out big. If you've ever dreamed of uncovering life-changing wealth, this is the story you need to hear. Act 1 begins with a question that might unsettle you just a bit. How many rare coins have slipped through your hands unnoticed? How many opportunities for massive payouts have you unknowingly spent on coffee? It's a slightly terrifying thought, but don't worry. It's also the reason you're here. The 2019 San Antonio Mission's Quarter, part of the America the Beautiful series, was never meant to be more than loose change. But then came a printing anomaly, an error so distinct and so scarce that collectors didn't just notice it, they started racing after it. Some call it the holy grail of modern mint errors, a symbol of America's hidden wealth waiting to be discovered by everyday people like you. The moment the first error coin surfaced, the numismatic world lit up like the 4th of July. Now let's transition into Act 2, the rising tension, the part where excitement meets destiny. Because the true reason this coin is dominating headlines and auction blocks is its sheer rarity. The error, commonly tied to a misalignment and unexpected die clash, creates a visual anomaly that makes the coin unique, unmistakable, and highly desirable to elite collectors. These coins don't just get noticed, they get hunted. And when collectors start hunting, the market explodes. That's why today, the very best examples of the San Antonio Mission's error quarter are selling for as high as $786,000. That's not internet rumor. That's current market demand fueled by scarcity, prestige, and the unstoppable momentum of wealthy collectors fighting to own a piece of numismatic history. But here's where the story takes a thrilling turn, because the value isn't driven by rarity alone. It's driven by urgency. Every year that passes, more of these coins vanish into private collections, never to return to the open market. Imagine a vault slamming shut. Once it's sealed, no one else gets in. That's the emotional heartbeat behind this coin's explosive worth. People aren't just buying an error quarter. They're buying exclusivity. They're buying bragging rights. They're buying a piece of American heritage minted by accident yet destined for greatness. And here's something to keep you on your toes. Experts believe there are still undiscovered pieces out there, hiding in dressers, junk drawers, glove compartments, and coffee cans in garages all across the country. Maybe even in yours. Of course, I know what you're thinking. Could I really have one? It's okay to laugh, most people do at first. A pattern interrupt here, think about it. You could be sitting on a coin worth more than the car in your driveway, the watch on your wrist, possibly even the house you live in. Who knew pocket change could be this dramatic? But in this community of collectors, dramatic value shifts are not only real, they're expected. That's what makes this world exhilarating. And before we continue, here's a cliffhanger. The biggest, most valuable San Antonio Mission's error ever discovered wasn't found by a dealer or an expert. It was found by an ordinary person who almost tossed it back into circulation. We'll return to that in a moment. Act 3 now rises to its inspirational peak, the transformative moment of the journey. Because the story of this coin is also the story of possibility, your possibility. The modern coin market is thriving with unprecedented energy. Americans aged 30 to 65 are rediscovering the value of collectibles, building side incomes, and in some cases turning old storage boxes into 6- or 7-figure payouts. And the San Antonio Mission's quarter is proof that life-changing opportunities still exist. Wealth isn't always earned in the boardroom. Sometimes it's discovered in the smallest corners of your home. This is your call to action, not driven by fear but by empowerment. You have the chance to search, to explore, to evaluate the coins you already own. $1,000,000 potential doesn't belong to the lucky, it belongs to the aware. And now back to that cliffhanger. The individual who found the highest valued San Antonio Mission's error quarter didn't even consider themselves a collector. They were just curious, just observant, just willing to look twice when something didn't seem quite right. That second glance turned into a $786,000 windfall, a life-altering moment many people only dream about. This is your reminder that you don't need expertise to discover hidden wealth. You just need awareness, patience, and the willingness to learn as we approach our closing moments. Think about this. Every rare coin ever found was simply waiting for someone bold enough to discover it. Maybe that someone is you. Because the market for rare coins isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Demand is rising. Values are climbing. Collectors are competing harder than ever. And every day that passes, another rare coin disappears into a private vault. Your opportunity is now, not tomorrow. Now, so as you finish this video, don't just walk away inspired. Take action. Check your coins. Revisit your collections. Reevaluate what you thought was ordinary. Wealth doesn't always knock loudly. Sometimes, It whispers from the surface of a quarter minted in 2019. And in those whispers lies the potential for a life of freedom, abundance, and financial power.